Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do the Micronauts, the new Voyage issue number 1 by Marvel Comics. This is a request from a subscriber of the channel called Mike. Mike is watching my videos every day, commenting every day, and that helps with the algorithm. And he's probably my #1 fan. I don't know, but I really appreciate his comments and his stories, and he's a great guy. And he says, Marinus, I want you to review the Micronauts. This is volume 2, by the way, because I don't have issue, I believe, from volume 1. I have a couple of volume 1s, but I got more, I believe, from Micronauts, the new Voyage. So I think, he said, you need to do a review before the end of this month. So so I said, okay, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I do not know nothing about the Micronauts. I collect all of them, or I mean, as much as possible, but I don't know if it's actually good. So why collect them? Well, I love the premise. I mean, I like what I'm seeing. I love science fiction, you know, that old school science fiction. It's very appealing to me, right? So without further ado, let's dive in. So we have a voice, a narrative, and the narrative says, I have lived in the universe, and it has been a wonder to me. My star have I circled 100,000 times since I was made. But my star has spoken to me in a myriad tongues of its energy, shape, and the miracles deep in its core. It is unlike me, but then I know of none who in truth are like me. Still, I am content, for the universe is a greater thing than I, and has given me all I could desire. My wonder remains undimmed. So, and then something comes out of it, and it says, I reach out to feel the gifts of my star as it comes to its given time. It gives me continuance. It's given me energy and life. It differs from, I differ from it in this way. I live and my star does not. Similar to the makers did not make my star, whereas they did make me. Yet we are the same, as for my star moves to give and not to give, changing. So do I change. Change without, what does it say? Ceasing? Yeah, ceasing. And never more than now. I wonder what this is. So now we're getting introduced to the Micronauts, and we have all this, a little bit here of a recap, well, not recap, introduction. So the captain of this starship is Commander Ron, and he is, in the Microverse. This is not in the universe, it's a Microverse, a microscopic universe, and he's living there for thousands of years. And then we have Marionette, who is a princess of the homeworld, well, called Homeworld. And then we have Acroyear, warrior king of Spartak, deposed by his people and shunned by his wife, a mighty warrior in battle, now learning the path of peace. And then we have Huntar, street urchin of Homeworlds, transformed by the body banks into an infinite adaptable living weapon, a weapon now without a war. And then we have Bug, warrior of Caliclac, thief, rogue, and rebel. And we have some other people here as well. I mean, this guy is some kind of a Zen guru. So it seems, according to them, they got to escape the Microverse, or they're going deeper into the Microverse. They are, leaving Homeworld, I think. And because they want to seek a new life, a new peace, because of what happened in the Volume 1, I guess. They battled some evil guy. I think they won. And they are seeking out, well, new worlds and new civilizations. Like Star Trek, but then different, right? Oh, by the way, surprise, surprise, the art, Kelley Jones? Really? And a story by Peter B. Gillis. This is Kelley Jones's art. It's probably where he began, I guess. What a surprise, I didn't even know that. I'm a big Kelley Jones fan. So his art here is way different than the art that we are used to, right? So he says, so they asked the captain, hey, where do we go? I mean, is there something here that we can go to because you are living in this microcosm for thousands of years? So he says, well, now that you mention it, a planet comes to mind. It's called Fiame? I don't know. So they decided to go there, you know, living a new life and all that stuff. And they're going to hyperdrive or hyperspace. Is it hyperdrive? Hyperspace. Warp drive. They're using the warp drive going to hyperspace. Yeah, all right. So more a little bit flashback here. They battled the scientist turned despot Baron Karza. And it seems that the commander here, or the captain, was once a pupil of the Baron Karza before he turned evil, right? And it says here that they are lost brothers and friends and lovers, right? And some of them that weighs heavy on the heart, especially with Hunter here, because he was just, I believe, a normal man, and then the biobanks, or the what's it called? Sorry, let me. Body banks transformed him into this monster, and he cannot stand it. He cannot stand his body. He's depressed. And then this Zen guru guy is trying to enlighten the mood a little bit with wisdom. But then, and he says, yeah, I know that. But then something is happening. So it seems during the warp drive, some kind of a malfunction happened outside of the hull, right? And this adds. So he says, apparently part of the hull has been ruptured and a whole section of the circuitry has been destroyed. But surely that can be fixed. He says, yeah, but we have to do it outside of the ship. You mean outside in hyperspace? So the other comes in and says, hey, I have armor, but then some kind of a shockwave. We're beginning to lose power, Bug. And where those subatomic particles, tachyons, are concerned, of which the ship is now composed, that means we start speeding up. If the drive isn't fixed quick, there will be no telling where we end up, if we end up anywhere at all. So the captain says, well, I'm going outside and going to fix the problem, right? But the other one says, wait, hey, listen, we are more durable and we have armor, and probably it's not the best that you can go outside, right? So, and everybody is against that. And he says, well, there's no arguments, I'm going to do it. So the bug says, listen, Commander, this isn't a war any longer. You can order us to let you die. I'm ordering you to let me leave, to let me save you all. End of discussion. And and then the commander says, Acroyer, please. So because he wants to say, hey, I'm going to not let you leave. As the Earth people put it, it'll be a piece of cake. Right. But this white thingy here, that's, I believe, the force field around the ship. He cannot go outside of the force field, otherwise he's in deep trouble. And so we see part of the warp hyperdrive universe, or the thing that they are, in the hyperspace. While the others watch closely what's going to happen, right? So we have also these robots called, let me check. What's his name? I need to know. Biotron, yeah. We have also another robot. Is it here on the... Yeah, it's called Microtron. So we have Biotron and Microtron, right? It also reminds me a little bit of how I forgot that TV series or that movie, with the family in space, going to unknown territory. Jesus, I forgot. Probably you know it. Leave a comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so a little bit too quick here. So he's crawling here, and she says, what happens? What could happen out there? If he slips outside the field, he could get turned inside out like a paper bag. So he's crawling and crawling, right? And there's almost no room for error because it's, very tight on his body here almost. And so he's trying to repair it. But then he's losing the apparatus, the scalpel or whatever, the tool. And he goes outside, and then, it's more like a reflex. So his fingers touches the veil, and he's lost his fingers now, and he's in terrible pain. And the others say, what's happening? He's bleeding out into space. Worse than that, his suit is losing air fast. You got to seal it off, or else he's dead. So, and then without thinking at all, he is shutting his wrist gauntlets and cutting off his hands. That's pretty gruesome. You know, you have to do that in an instantly, right? You have to decide that you want to cut off your limb. I mean, that must be so difficult. You must be have I don't know, nerves of steel to instantly do that. I mean, I would have fought 100 times over if I'm going to do that, right? But he says, yeah. So his suit is now sealed, right? So also the airflow cannot go out anymore. And so she says, God of Homeworld, he's not coming in. And then he's trying to finish the repairs, and he's, you know, well, not falling asleep, but he's unconscious. So Hunter's body, you know, he can turn into anything, I guess. He's a bioweapon. Grabs him and drags him in. He will live, my friends. And so will we all. Shut down the drive and get us out of hyperspace immediately. It was a temporary repair, right? So he's going to medbay and is being, you know, taken care of by, I want to say roulette, but that's not it. Marionette. And yeah, she's crying for him, right? And he says, when we battled Karza, I turned my back on you for a while. I felt you were going soft, didn't want to fight, but I've come to see that we each had our own ways of opposing evil. Seeing you out here remind me all of the feelings I let go dormant. I watched you through all our battle and emerge whole, and then to fall prey to, and she says, to my own stupidity. Don't cry. I'll do it again to save you. I know, and that's why I'm crying. Oh man. Meanwhile, they're going out to out of hyperspace, and they are drifting now because they have almost no power anymore, right? They have only, well, they cannot do jump speeds. I mean, jump through space anymore, and so they are, Biotron here is scanning everything, and he says, I have only incontrovertible idea, another pleasant one, and that is that wherever we are, we best get used to it for a while. The power is almost totally gone. We are very nearly dead in space. So, the captain comes in and he says, and Ron comes in. He says, "Well, give me a full checkup and tell me what's going on." So Biotron says, "We are at the 0.7% capacity. Emergencies are intact. Not enough for warp. Only sublight travel." So okay, then they said, "Well, scan the system, for living beings and planets and all that stuff." So Bug says to Marionette, "Don't run off like that. If you go to pieces, it'll be a job putting you together again." Fun though. And she says, "I'm not falling apart, Bug. Just angry that we could revenge on someone like Karza. How can we seek revenge on a faulty circuit? How do you revenge yourself on the universe?" I don't know a little bit what's going on. I'm missing that part of the puzzle. Maybe we're going to find out later. So this night guy says, "You don't seek revenge even on Karza. You seek understanding and advancement." So yeah, a little bit more characterization here. But it gets even curiouser and curiouser. So Biotron says, "By a stroke of luck, we are in the magnetosphere of a singleton sun, yellow supergiant class, and is found at the edges of the Microverse. But there's the curious thing, sir. There's only one tiny planetoid in the orbit around. No other solid matter." "Only one? Should anything be out there?" And he says, "This might mean the object is something artificial." So chart a course for it. But then the voice starts to talk again. "I'm astounded, delighted. So soon to the culmination of my cycle, some unprecedented discharge like unto my star has come into being. There must be a purpose. It's a faint and far away, but altogether fresh and new. I shall investigate it further. Is this the hand of the maker? I shall shed some light on it, to learn its structure." So, and then it shoots some kind of a beam, and Biotron says, Alert, Commander. We are being bombarded by high-energy gamma rays. Possible danger to protoplasm. Shields up and put on the defensive system, right? So they're going to investigate. And they are landing on this planetoid, although they are 2 days away, so they need to travel there, right? And there is some radioactivity going on. Nothing, you know, dangerous or something, but, you know. And they're going inside of this planetoid, right? And they're seeing something. And they are looking like this the inside of a horror movie, like, I don't know, Alien. Also reminds me of you know, Marvel's Ego, the Living Planet, you know, not the movie version because it was shit. I mean the comic version that, you know, stood against Galactus and other beings as well. That was a fun storyline with the Fantastic Four in it, you know, it was great. Anyway, so they're going deeper and deeper and things getting weirder and weirder. Also, the radiation is getting more stronger and stronger, right? And then, so this guy says it's magnificent. Yeah, if you like wandering through someone's stomach. And Arcturus, what is this? The unknown, Mary. The universe. I like the wonder in this language. Well, not language, the writing, right? The wonder, the unknown. Also, again, Star Trek. Jesus, what's the first movie, right? Also a little bit, you know, going to something that is living but also not, right? I'm not saying this is not living, but it all reminds me of things that I've seen before, but then a long time ago, that when I was younger, I was a sense of wonder and excitement and exploration, right? In movies and TV series and of course comics. And that's the feeling that I have with this comic, a sense of wonder and excitement. I like that. And mystery, of course. So, Biotron, I hope you're getting this telemetry up on the bridge. I am perplexed, says the voice. What a strange feeling that is. My star approaches the time of giving, and yet I do not wish to frighten my tiny companion away. And further, I perhaps should not expose my fragile parts in its presence. But how can I refuse the gifts of my star? And I believe it's talking about the radiation or sunlight, maybe, well, starlight, you know, for him or it to power up. Just a guess. And the robot says, well, the star is approaching, or it's approaching the star, and the radiation is getting really dangerous now. And so they need to do something. So they are going further and further into this, whatever it is. So the voice says, to refrain my pleasure is an extraordinary idea, full of all kinds of implications. The blissful washing of the star gives through my interior. For the sake of a fellow being, I wonder indeed. Okay. And then they are seeing something, and this robot guy, it's not a robot, but he says, hey, you need to see this. And look at this. This looks so cool. The chambers does differ from the others, however, and there could be danger. If so, Acroyer, please let me take the lead. I have the most flexible response to danger. I am finding it very difficult to refrain from putting out my receptors or acceptors. If my friend is at all fragile, I could sustain damage. It could sustain damage from my star's gift. But oh, the lovely gifts. So Hunter senses that these are eggs. They are alive. What, eggs being fed by hard radiation? Cabana, the star is reaching its peak output. Radiation is rising radically. The sunstorm will out of... And then they lost connection. And he says, Microtron, Microtron. The voice says, I will let the gifts of my star waste and glow within me. For how could such a beautiful thing hurt even my tiny companion? Well, they can hurt a lot because they are made of fragile things and they cannot stand radiation. That leads us to the next issue that I have here. And then we're going to take a look at that. Yeah, this is fun. You know, this is, you know, not much action, but it's like a lot of exploration, you know, like I said, sense of wonder and all that stuff. Fantasy, science fiction, it's all in here. I love it. I really like it. So Totally different than normal, superhero comics. And that makes it, maybe the reason that I want to dive a little bit deeper into the story. So guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you want to see more of this? Leave a comment below and see you next time. Bye-bye.